What is going on, guys? It's Modded Warfare here. Welcome back to another video. So Q&A video. I'm going to go ahead and answer your questions. I got loads and loads of people leaving questions on the video. I actually only had the video public for about 2 or 3 hours because so many people were asking questions. So, you know, there was no way I was going to get through them all anyway. So if you missed the, the opportunity to leave a question, I'm sorry, but there was just so many questions that I wouldn't have been able to answer yours anyway. So yeah, let's just go through it, answer as many questions. I'll make this a fairly long video because there's so many questions, maybe like 20 minutes. So if you want to just have this video running in the background while you do something else, that's probably a wise decision. So yeah, let's get on here with the first question. So we've got, do you believe that there'll be another Xbox 360 JTAG/RGH equivalent exploit to run homebrew on this generation or later generation consoles from Microsoft? I don't see there being a new glitch chip for 360, other than rehashes of the same kind of exploit. You know how you have different manufacturers making different chips that do the same thing. You know, you can do the RGH 1.2 exploit with like a number of different chips, but I don't see there being like a new exploit specifically for 360 because, you know, they're not being manufactured anymore. We've already got, exploits. We've got the RGH hack. It's a pretty solid exploit. I don't really see the need for it. Xbox One, maybe, but again, who knows? I mean, Microsoft have got that console locked down pretty hard, so we haven't seen anything significant in terms of jailbreaking Xbox One, or JTagging or RGHing them. So yeah, who knows? I possibly don't think you could do YouTube full-time. What do you do as a job/income? Well, I'm a full-time student right now, so there is no job/income. Hopefully when I finish my degree, which, well, this should be my last year, so there's that. But yeah, obviously I can't do YouTube full-time. I don't make enough money in ad revenue to do that full-time. But I've got that. I've got Apparition Net Studio sales and stuff like that, so I'm doing okay at the moment. Are you part of a small select people who have a 5.50 jailbreak for PS4? I wish I was, but nope. What future content are you hoping to come out with? I don't know, like more PS4 stuff, Xbox 360 stuff. I might, if that stuff dries up, then I might do Nintendo Switch. Possibly, I'm not sure. So yeah, what is one hope or wish that you have that would help you with your channel growing? You being able to find a development PS4 in order to release tutorials. YouTube algorithm isn't complete as for content creators and users. Yeah, YouTube's just a really volatile place right now. It's pretty worrying, especially since YouTube can just change their policy in like the drop of a hat, and suddenly like a whole group of channels is now against their terms and conditions, and they can just like ban the channel, close the accounts, like what they're doing with gun channels that show how to disassemble guns and shoot guns and all that kind of there's quite a lot of gun channels on YouTube, or there was, and then YouTube changed the policy, and now those channels can pretty much no longer exist, or not be commercially viable. They can't make money. So it's a very volatile place right now, so there is that. You being able to find a development PS4. I'm not looking for a dev kit for PS4s. It would be nice to have one, but at the end of the day, those videos, if I made videos on a development kit PS4, they would only appeal to a very small number of people who also have a development kit PS4. So it's not really going to be that useful for other people if I was going to do dev kit tutorials, because hardly any people are going to have a dev kit, so it's not like many people are going to watch that video anyway. So yeah, I'm happy with just our retail exploited PS4s, our 4.55 kernel exploits and stuff, and there's still plenty of content coming out for that. When do you think jailbroken PS4s will go online? At this rate, everything is moving so fast. Yeah, that's the thing. See, the problem, and I'll try and answer a lot of questions because there's quite a lot of people also asking about 5.03, 5.05, 5.50 jailbreak. So I'll try and cover all this right here. So as for getting online on a PS4, obviously we need a kernel exploit that is on the same firmware as what PSN's currently on. So, the latest firmware for the PS4. So I believe right now that's 5.50. and apparently there's supposedly a 5.50 private exploit. Now, if that's true, assuming that's true, then the likelihood that that person will release that exploit publicly is very unlikely, especially right now when 5.50 is the latest firmware, because if they release it, then everyone can use it to get online with a jailbroken PS4, which sounds great for us, but you know, Sony might go after the person who released that exploit, might try and sue them, who knows. So that's one reason. So what will probably happen if that is the case, and that's the reason why they're not releasing it, then what they might do is wait for PSN to update to a higher firmware and then release the 5.50 exploit, because then it will be an offline exploit just like 4.55, and Sony will probably, you know, not take any action against them. Also, the other reason is that if you keep a jailbreak private, especially if it's a different exploit to the 4.55 exploit, then as long as you keep that exploit private, Sony are not going to know what the exploit is, and therefore they're not going to be able to patch it. So every new update that Sony releases will still be vulnerable to that exploit. So the person who has the private exploit can keep using that exploit on newer firmwares to stay online with their jailbroken PS4. As soon as they release that exploit to the public, Sony will, you know, it'll be written up there on GitHub, and then Sony can see it, know how it's done, patch it, and then the next update that Sony releases will have patched that exploit, and therefore that exploit's patched and nobody can use it online. So that's a good reason why people want to keep it private. So there is that. Also, about the 5.03 and 5.01 exploits, just to cover this real quick because I saw quite a few comments about this. First of all, know that the 5.50 exploit right here, these are WebKit exploits. So you've got to bear in mind there's a lot of WebKit exploits that people are mistaking them for kernel exploits. So what we have here, you know, 176, 4.05, 4.55, these are kernel level exploits. So that's what we need. Those are our jailbreaks. This right here, 5.01-5.05, and right here, 5.50 WebKit, that's just a WebKit exploit, not a kernel exploit. And a WebKit exploit does not allow you to do really anything significant compared to a kernel exploit. So it's not a jailbreak. So when you see posts like this that say like 5.50 WebKit exploit, that does not mean it's a jailbreak. So keep that in mind. And the same here, that's just the WebKit exploit, not a kernel exploit. And then another thing I've also noticed is there's people trying to pretend, not this video is, you know, showing how it's done, but there are other videos trying to pretend that they have a 5.50 kernel exploit when actually all they're using is a firmware version spoofer. So they're actually on 4.55, and then they are injecting a payload that spoofs the firmware version so that when they go into system info, it shows system software version 5.50, but that's just a spoofed number. The number is just spoofed. That's all. They are still on 4.55. This video demonstrates it quite well. If I can skip to the right point. So you can see this is clearly the 4.55 exploit that he selects, and then he injects the spoofer, and then as we go along here you'll see firmware version shows 5.50. So that's all it is. It's just a firmware version spoofer. You can check that video out from Andrew 2007 if you want to see the whole thing, but you've got to watch out for that because there's people putting videos up trying to pretend that they're on 5.50 with a jailbreak, and it's actually just 4.55 with a firmware version spoofer. So yeah, keep that in mind. Alright, I think I covered most of that stuff, so let's move on. Why are ye so good at making dope vids? I don't know, man. I mean, if you think they're dope, then that's dope. Just got my PS4, started working on it. Your videos are the only ones I watch. I would like to know if there's any custom firmware out, and what's the point of this exploit. If there's no custom firmware, why everything has to be injected. Got mine 3 days now, and I really don't see the point of it as of yet. I'm a fast learner, but I'm not feeling this injected/exploit. Do you feel that Rebug or some big custom firmware developer has one? We are about to reach PS5 before PS4 original custom firmware is possible. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the PS5 is going to come out the end of this year. Don't think that's been confirmed, has it? I mean, it would seem pretty stupid for them to release a PlayStation 5 so soon after the, you know, the Pro. So I would think it would at least be next year or the year after, but I'm not sure. Anyway, as for your question, custom, yeah, I mean, you say you don't really see the point, but I mean, free games, PlayStation 2 games, Linux, all kinds of stuff, mod menus, mod tools. There's plenty of things that, you know, just this kernel exploit can offer. It's obviously not ideal. It would be better if we had custom firmware, but at least we have something. So, I mean, it really doesn't take long to open up the webs. Like, if you have things set up properly, it really doesn't take long to just go on the web browser, click a button to inject a payload, and then, you know, get back to whatever it was you were wanting to do on your PS4. I mean, it can take as little as 10 seconds. So it's really not a huge inconvenience. I mean, yes, when payloads don't inject properly and you have like out of memory errors and stuff, but there are ways to minimize that. So once you have things set up properly, it's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, obviously custom firmware would be better, but at least we have something. Can we play pirated games on 5.05 WebKit exploit? No. No. Where can I buy your mod tool? If you're talking about Apparition Net Studio, then it's apparitionnetstudio.co.uk. We've got an auto buy set up on the website there. How to make intros and video thumbnails like yours. Can you make a video on them? Dude, my thumbnails are pretty like standard, like probably below average compared to some other people's thumbnails, so I'm definitely not the person you should be going to for that. So that's not really a question. When 5.01 jailbreak come? I mean, again, your guess is as good as mine. Can you buy a jailbroken PS4? Not really, because PS4s aren't really jailbroken, they're only jailbreakable. The exploit is only temporary until you restart your console, and then you have to load it again, which we were just discussing before. You can get a jailbreakable PS4. All you have to do is get any PlayStation 4, Fat, Slim, or Pro, as long as it's on firmware version 4.55 or below 4.55, so that you can then update it to 4.55, then you can jailbreak your PS4. Pretty simple, and it's quite easy to get a jailbreakable PS4 these days that's on 4.55 firmware, because 4.55 came out in April 2017, so you just need to get a console that was manufactured before then. So any fat PS4, no matter what the model is, as long as you buy it new, it will be guaranteed to be below 4.55, so you can jailbreak it. As for slims, so if I just hop on Amazon here, and we search for PS4 bundles. Right, so as you can see right here, if you're looking for a slim and you want to get a slim that's on 4.55, then you want to get one of the older bundles. So like this would not be what you want, what you're looking for. Like Call of Duty World War II came out in what, November 2017, so this is going to be, this console is going to be above 4.55 for sure. And the model number is CUH-211, which is one of the new models. So what you're looking for is an older bundle, so a PS4 Slim bundle that's bundled with an older game that came out before April 2017, and is one of the old models, which is CUH-20, not 21. So this is 21, so this would definitely be past 4.55. But if we look at maybe an older bundle, like Uncharted 4, which I think came out in late 2016, so this bundle probably came out maybe early 2017, and it's quite hard to see that, but that does look like 20, so CUH-20. So I would buy this one if I was going to go ahead and try and get a PS4 that's jailbreakable. So that's what you have to do. Just look at the model numbers, try and get an older bundle, and you're pretty much set. Okay, what else have we got? Is there any news about hacking the Xbox One? Honestly, I haven't been paying attention because Xbox One modding has been like dead because nothing's happened for so long. So for all I know, there could be some news about it. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll find out. I'm sure if there was something huge like a public jailbreak, then I would hopefully know about it. Will there be a way to use a save editor without buying one? If it gets cracked, possibly. Do you still mod on Xbox 360 as it's dying? Oh, here we go. So many people say that the Xbox 360 modding scene is dying. If you saw how many people were using the big stealth servers like XBOnline and Ninja, you would know that the Xbox 360 scene is very much alive. It's not dying. Or it may be dying, but if it's dying at a very, very slow rate. Because it's still very popular. And I don't think it will properly die until we get an 8th generation exploit that can be done online. Once people can mod online on, say, PS4 or Xbox One, that's when the 360 modding scene will properly die, I think. But as long as there's no exploit for 8th generation consoles that can get you online, then the 360 modding scene will still live on until that time. What programming languages do you know? Which are you most fluent in, and how did you learn them? So C# is the one I know the most. I'm not a programming expert by any means, but I know C# fairly well. Java, JavaScript, and PHP loosely. But once you know one language, it's easier to pick up other ones. And how did I learn? Just practice, I guess. You know, working on ApparitionNet for a long time. Lots of visits to Stack Overflow when things go wrong. It's pretty much how you learn. Will there be a way to play online with the jailbreak in future? Kind of already said, I mean, who knows. Do you yourself pirate games? Answer honestly, or I'm calling the police for lying. Okay, I have pirated games. Occasionally I do. Normally if it's a game that's I'm not that like desperate for. Like if it's a game I'm like, this could be a good game, but I'm not sure, then I won't go ahead and buy it. I'll normally just, you know, pirate it to see if it's any good first. But yeah, most of the time now I'm too lazy to pirate. Like pirating a game is more effort. It's the buying a game legitly is the lazy way, because if you buy a game on Steam, then it just downloads automatically for you at the maximum speed, and it installs the latest updates and content for you, and you just have to click a button and it starts, and it's simple. Whereas, you know, on PC, if you're trying to pirate a game, then, you know, you have to be on the lookout for viruses, you have to download the whole game, extract it. Sometimes you have to swap out like EXEs and use certain commands to patch the EXE so that you can run it sometimes, and, you know, have to install game updates manually. So that pirating is actually the harder way of getting games. So because I can't be bothered these days, I'll just buy them. And all my PlayStation 4 games I have bought, legitly. I have bought all my PlayStation 4 games from Amazon, and most of the games I have for the PlayStation 4 I don't even play. I only bought them to mod them, so that I could, you know, add them to my PS4 AIO mod tool. That's literally the only reason I bought them. I haven't played the campaigns. I only, after I finished the tool, that they've just sat on a shelf and I haven't been touched since then. This is a JTAG question. When I load my profile, I get an error, but I have updated my dash and avatars. I have been here since 500 subscribers. I wish you luck in your journey. Wow, 500 subscribers? If that's true, then that's crazy, because, wow, that would have been sort of JTAG tutorials episode 15, 16, something like that you joined the channel. So I appreciate the fact you've been here for so long. That's awesome. But as for your question, load your profile, then you get an error. Well, you know, your profile could be banned. I mean, that happens a lot. You'll try and sign in. It doesn't say that you're banned. It'll just give you like an error code 800 something, or yeah, something like that. So it could be, try and sign into your account on Xbox.com. and then if it says that you're banned, then you know that's why, and just create a new account. Most of the time now you can't even create a new account on the Xbox itself. You have to create the account on Xbox.com and then download it onto your 360 if you're on a JTAG or RGH, which I assume you are. Is there a jailbreak for firmware 5.50? Kind of already got through that. So yeah, we're hitting 20 minutes here, guys. Hopefully I got through a good amount of your questions. I definitely wanted to cover some of those PS4 questions more in detail because of all the confusion out there. There could be a 5.50 jailbreak. In fact, I've been told by a reliable source that there is a private 5.50 jailbreak going around, and it is real. Yeah, but I mean it's no use to us until it becomes public. So what good is it for us if it's private? So yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, and of course if you want to see another Q&A soon, then let me know in the comments section if you felt like you know, you wanted more questions answered. Oh, also don't forget that we're still running the giveaways. We've got about 1 day left, so go ahead and enter them. 2 giveaways. One of the giveaways is for 6 1-month tokens of XBOnline. The other giveaway is for a 4.55 PS4, so a PlayStation 4 that's already on 4.55. Comes with the controller. It does come with a UK power cable because, you know, it's coming from me and I'm in the UK. So if you win the giveaway and you live in Canada or the US, then you'll have to buy a different power cord for it. That's the only thing. But hey, you get the PS4 and the controller and everything else. So yeah, go ahead and enter those giveaways. You've got 1 day left on those. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.